Hey guys, it's Bear. It is Friday, October 12th, 2018, and yesterday, October 11th, was like National Coming Out Day or something. And apparently, I think like October in general is like coming out month. Um, so I wanted to go ahead and drop a line and talk about my coming out and the various kinds of coming out and stuff that I had to do and why I actually refuse to do it anymore. So 4 years ago, 2014, I spent that summer kind of struggling with the idea of coming out as transgender and getting on hormones and everything like that. I had done a ton of research and talked to a couple of doctors already about the timeline of changes and how that was going to look and everything. And I had decided that it was something I wanted to do, but of course I was just like incredibly terrified about talking to people and the rejection that you might go through, or what it was going to be like in the workplace, or like around martial artists. It tends to be a very like masculine dominated environment, and some of those guys can be harsh in their words. They actually ended up not being. I didn't get any real issues there. And especially struggling with the idea of coming out to my family. I think that's like the real big one that was really, really scary, was how that conversation was going to go, and the pain that I was going to end up putting them through. I tend to worry about how other people are going to react to me, and if I'm going to cause them pain. I really don't like doing that to people, and I figured I was going to cause my family some distress. And I wasn't wrong, although I wasn't completely right either. It's surprising how many people will be like, yeah, I just want you to be happy. How's that going to look? So I came out late in October. I missed coming out day because I couldn't get to my family and talk to them about it in person. And to me, it was really important to do it in person. I know that a lot of people come out via like text or email or something like that. It seems like it's going to be a lot easier because you're not interacting with them, and that's cool. My coming out video was done sort of by text, so it definitely, I can understand why it's easier to do something via text. For me, it was really important to go out there and actually talk to my family, and they don't live completely conveniently close to me. So I didn't make it work before coming out day, but instead I ended up going out and talking to them kind of towards the end of October. And then really within a couple of days, I made that video and I put it up, and it went on Facebook. And it didn't meet a lot of resistance. Yeah, I lost a couple people. Yeah, people had questions, but for the most part, nobody was really surprised. I was not like a girly girl, yeah, so that was my coming out. But reflecting on that over the last like couple of years, I've refused to like have a formal coming out again, right? So what I mean by that is that leading up to discovering that I was trans, I thought that like my masculine urges and stuff like that meant that I was maybe like a lesbian. And so I explored having sex with women. I hadn't been attracted to women initially, when I discovered like sexuality and stuff like that. I had dated men, and so I thought that was like the answer. And so I can't remember which led to which, if I kind of came out as bi and then came out as a lesbian, or like the other way around. But I remember having to talk to people multiple times, and both times I was wrong, and it ended up being a phase, which is why that whole like it's a phase thing always tickles me. Because yeah, it might be a phase. You might be discovering more things about yourself than you thought you were, because inevitably I wasn't into women. I just wasn't a woman, and I had to figure that out. So I had a series of coming outs. Not all of them went particularly well. Coming out as trans probably was the best one, as far as people's responses. And yeah, now here I am, 4 years on testosterone. I've, been single or available since, I don't know, like 2015 or 2016. I left my ex of 10 years, and I've been playing the dating game. And I did actually try going out with a woman or two, and I just wasn't like at all intrigued in any way. And so it's like, okay, I'm into guys, and I'm just not going to come out anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So instead, I just talk about it very naturally, and I never had a formal coming out, and pretty much everybody in my world at this point now knows that I'm gay. But it's kind of always a funny reaction because apparently I'm like super straight acting, and I really hate that, and I've talked about that in a previous video, so I won't get into it now. But yeah, I'm just not going to do it. I just won't. Furthermore, I recently, over the last maybe year, finally got back to, a religious conversion that I started like way back in the 90s. And I've gotten really, really into it to the point of, changing some things about, my behavior, observance levels, attire, like I wear a kippah now. And I'm just not going to make like a formal announcement about it. This is probably the closest to a formal announcement that I've made, and I honestly made that change months and months ago. And I just didn't say anything. I just kind of did it and let people figure it out. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to go through the stress and anxiety of like having that coming out conversation ever again if I can avoid it. So happy coming out day. I'm going to end it now. If you feel the need to have that conversation, or if it's important to you, or if it's going to make your life easier and better, then do it. Definitely do it. I'm not trying to put anybody down in this video for like coming out. Thank you to all the allies who speak up and support whenever it's Pride or coming out day or whatever. You are more important than you will ever know. And if you haven't come out yet, it'll happen when it's right. Sit down and talk to somebody about how to do it. There are people on your side. Find a religious leader, a good friend, a therapist, whatever you need to do. If you need to have that conversation, you can do it. I believe in you. If it's not the time yet, don't force yourself to do it. Don't let anybody else force you into that conversation. Stand up for yourself. And good luck, everyone.